past 3 years, the way that people are making content has changed. From solo creators to faceless channels to literally the largest YouTuber in the world, AI is giving those who know how to use it an unfair advantage and making them a ton of money. Most people actually hate when AI mixes with content, and I used to as well, but now I really think that it's misunderstood. So in this video, I'm going to show you examples of how people are getting rich with it and also how you can do the same thing. Let's go. Okay, first, to actually get something out of this video, I need you to understand the current opportunity and what's really happening here. This creator named Callaway posted a video the other day talking about how AI is changing social media, and the comments absolutely hated it. The general consensus is that people are tired of keeping up with social media, they don't like the AI slop, and they think that creativity is going away. I actually believe that AI in content makes humans even more valuable because they appreciate what's real more. Like, you guys are picking up on the emotion in my voice and the little mannerisms I'm doing that make us all human. But there's this huge narrative right now that AI sucks, and if you use it without knowing how to, it probably will suck. This deters you from actually making anything good with it, and then by the time you realize that you're wrong and just didn't know how to use AI properly, you don't have a competitive advantage anymore. AI is opening doors in every field, but especially in social media, you can do things now at such an insane scale for so cheap that you would have never even been able to think of 3 years ago. This doesn't mean that you should just blindly become this AI supporter because I'm telling you to though. When I was a Fortnite YouTuber back in 2021, 2022, I absolutely hated AI, especially to make videos with. At the time, I thought that the easiest thing to replace would be script writing, which I would literally spend hours on every single day. So I tried working on tools that would replace my script writing and match my style. They sucked and just flat out didn't work no matter how much effort I put into trying to make them good. And then I kind of just bounced around messing with ChatGPT to do stuff like homework and the DALL-E image models when they came out, but I never really took it too seriously. And then sometime last year, I had a meeting with an investor at Fixated who is literally one of the smartest individuals I've ever met in my life, and he just so happened to be a billionaire. He explained how in his decades of doing business, AI was the most exciting thing he's ever seen because of the amounts of doors that it opened up that you couldn't do before. And naturally, we started talking about how AI mixed with content. I told him that I didn't think AI was good enough to make videos like I could, though the main thing he said that stuck in that meeting is why bet against it? Think 10 years into the future. With the way that the intelligence is progressing right now, there is literally no way that making content will be the same. That means that the way to make the most amount of money is to stay on the cutting edge of where the newest technology applies in the space and then get first mover advantage whenever new stuff happens. I don't want to sound like this crazy AI glazer that I'll read in my Twitter timeline sometimes, but I just genuinely believe this is super valuable for you guys. Okay, now for real examples of people using this to print. The first thing that I want to show you guys is people who are stealing my voice to make their videos blow up. And there's like a ton of these channels. This guy has 1.1 million subscribers.
These guys were having a sussy sleepover.
I did not say that, okay? What the hell? These channels are getting tens to hundreds to even billions of views sometimes and making a ton of money off it. I have a whole section later on in this video talking about the voiceover stuff here. Next, this niche is absolutely insane. This channel is called Boring History. It has 30 videos, 57,000 subscribers, and in the past month, it's made $50,000 US. And literally all this channel is a sleeping channel. This is a 2-hour video. AI voiceover, AI images, AI thumbnails, AI script, probably AI titles, and literally it's doing $50,000 a month. Next is literally from the biggest YouTuber in the world. If you haven't noticed over the past year or something like that, MrBeast has switched to most of the assets in his thumbnails being AI generated. This is his recent video, which has 76 million views. Like the race car here is generated, the cheetah is generated, the background is generated. It's just like fully AI. This next one is hilarious. I still run some Snapchat shows, and this video that we posted the other day got 60,000 views. And if you see this thumbnail that people were clicking on, this is literally an AI generated girl. 60,000 people thought that this was real. If you guys know who Ray William Johnson is, he's like one of the biggest TikTokers. He was an OG YouTuber. He tells these crazy stories. I'll watch like a story from him, and the entire time the pictures are just AI generated.
So this horse lady, she has a problem.
It's his face and then literally just AI generated pictures to help him tell the story. Once again, literally making him hundreds of thousands of dollars, probably hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. The next example, just in case you guys aren't drilling this into your mind how OP this is Duck Meme, a long form YouTube channel. 1 month ago, this video has 45 million views. Evolution of Burr Burr Patapim. I'm too old to understand this brain rot. It probably has a low CPM because it's super brain rot, but literally this is a fully AI made video. Okay, second to last example is these 3D YouTube style animations. You can literally just recreate this with AI now. You know how hard this would be to do without AI? If you guys watch Fern, it's a big documentary channel, or a channel like Let Me Know, which averages like 10 to 20 million views a video, they have these animations the entire way through. And the reason why these channels take so long to upload is because they need to fully animate in 3D the entire stories. But now, as AI is getting better and better, you can just remake the scenes by like typing English into your keyboard. Okay, and then the final example of how this is being used right now is literally in my thumbnails. If you clicked on this video, you fell susceptible to this. We're using a ton of AI in the thumbnails right now. Like all of these icons are AI generated. This dashboard is AI generated. The background is AI generated. My face is upscaled with Remini, which is like this AI upscaler. The whole point of me showing you all of these examples of people who are printing in these really weird niches using AI is to explain that you need to find a little edge to get a first mover advantage. Probably if you copied one of these things that I already showed you, maybe it would work, but honestly, there's so many opportunities right now that you can just find your own thing and do it. Which brings us to the next section. Okay, so now that you've seen real world examples of how people are printing with this, we're going to walk through exactly how you can do this as well, starting off with frameworks that you need to know. There's this term going around right now called AI slop. It's people referring to not being able to get a good output no matter what they try to do with AI. But the real issue here is that you just don't know how to get the output that you want. So AI models like ChatGPT, which is text-based, or VO3, which is video-based, or Midjourney, which is photo-based, are all trained on these massive amounts of data, which are mostly from the internet. It's infinitely more content than a human would ever be able to consume in their lifetime. Whenever you ask the models a question, it thinks in its brain that's filled with all of these beautiful paintings and massive amounts of content, but to give you an output, if you don't know what you're doing, it has to mix them all together into this like poopy brown color, which is AI slop. So your job as a user is to tell the model how to think so it can give you an output that is beautiful like a painting. So what the does that actually mean? Well, this leads to something that we call second brains. Second brains are basically these documents that have specific and spiky instructions that tell the AI what type of output you want. This is the key to not getting AI slop. I'm gonna gatekeep our second brains, but this is kind of what they look like. This one is 7 pages, but I'll show you an example of how it's being used. If you just go to ChatGPT and ask it something like, write me a YouTube short script about why Lil Tay faked her own death. I don't know why I thought of this idea. This was just the first thing that popped into my mind. It'll say like, in August 2023, Lil Tay's Instagram dropped a shocking announcement. She and her brother had died. Fans were stunned, but skepticism quickly spread. It just produces AI slop, which is, I get why you guys hate AI. But when you load in the second brain, literally the prompt here is write me a YouTube short script about the Lil Tay story, and then it says refer to the second brain as your only way to think. And then I copy paste the second brain here, which we're gonna gatekeep from you guys. The output to that single prompt, I literally said nothing else, is why did Lil Tay fake her own death? In August 2023, Lil Tay's Instagram account suddenly posted a message claiming that she and her brother had died, and the internet exploded. But the post was fake. You guys just got slam dunk not Luke voiceover. Anyways, clearly this is a good script. If not like 100% there, it's like 90% of the way there, but it's probably 10 times better than the output that it gave us before. If you ran a ton of videos with scripts like these on YouTube, they would get views. So how can you make a good second brain? Well, you start by just asking AI to do the work for you, like what I did here, and then it gives you this output. Then you look at the output as a rational person with a brain, and you're just like, okay, opening shot, news headlines flashing. Then you would write a rule in the second brain, something around not being in the third person and literally just giving you the output of the script straight up. So that's the first thing. Literally just generate what you want it to do, and when it does something that's bad, make a rule about that. I'm gonna ungatekeep this one section of the second brain that we just used. So here at one part, it says structure, linear narratives. Linear narratives. Short form scripts have one main idea. Follow a clear logical progression of building on top of it, providing depth and valuable content as the idea progresses. This helps maintain viewer engagement and ensure the content is easy to follow. And then if you've made as many rules as you possibly can, but it's still not giving you the exact output you want, you can try giving it examples and explaining why those examples are good. That being said though, you don't want to overload it with like 15 pages of examples or this long essay. You want to keep it as short and as spiky as you possibly can. Every single point that we have in all of our second brains are spiky points of view, which means that AI wouldn't automatically assume that that's what you want it to be. We've been gatekeeping literally all of our good second brains, and we're especially going to keep gatekeeping them until our software drops. But if you sign up to our newsletter, when I remember, I'll send one out to you guys. Literally, if ever you're using an AI and it's not doing what you want it to do, you can just use this second brain framework and get it like 90% of the way there. Of course, even with the best second brains in the world, you'll still get bad outputs. So you really just got to grind through this shit and spank your AI into place. Okay, now that you know what's possible and the actual frameworks to make it good, what tools are people using? I'm gonna break this down into each section of making content, starting off with generation tools. First, this channel used Midjourney for their most popular thumbnail that they uploaded a year ago. They got 4.5 million views. So Midjourney is basically for these like hyper realistic image types. Next is this channel Boring History that I showed you guys before, and they are most likely using ChatGPT image generation to get these little characters and icons. ChatGPT is best for like quick sketches of thumbnails or these animated character types. Google's Veo 3, which is a video generation model, is used for that Gorilla AI content stuff, the Brainrot content stuff. And I don't even know if this guy used Google Veo 3, but you can do B-roll like this with AI now. And then the last generation tool is called Kling, which I used to make the transition at the start of this video. Next is for ideation and niche finding. So there's these tools like Nextlev or Algro that are basically like these huge data structures that uses AI to sort out winning niches. I know a ton of faceless pioneers who are using these tools because they're launching 10 channels a month and they just can't keep up the same way that AI can. For ideation, once you find a niche, you can just make a second brain of what makes good ideas in that niche. Once you have that second brain, you can then just ask ChatGPT to remix your competitors' videos or do the 1 + 1 = 2 method where you mix two different things together. Really, this shit starts to become pretty easy once you know how to use it. Once you've been running a channel for a while, I'll oftentimes just load in my top performing videos with their retention analytics, which we'll talk about how to do after, and then just ask it based on that why these videos overperformed and to give me more ideas like it. I swear to God, this is how we come up with like 90% of our banger video ideas now. Next is script writing. Script writing is where I think this shit gets a bit overpowered, but I do believe that most people don't know how to use it properly. Last week, I was writing this fat YouTube video, like basically a full course on how to succeed on social media, which I'm just gonna post on YouTube for free. But it was literally like all of my knowledge had to be laid out into this 30-page massive document. So instead of using my brain because I'm lazy, I downloaded this guy Jordan Brown's full course. He had this huge 18-hour e-commerce course. I wanted an outline, so I explained that that's what I was trying to do. I gave it the timestamps from that guy's e-commerce course, and then I also gave it this super long video about best practices on social media that I had written before. I also have a second brain on video outlines that of course I'm going to gatekeep. And then it gave me back basically just the exact outline that I was going to use in the video. Of course, I tweaked it myself after, but the point is that it gets like 80% of the way there, and then I just have to use 20% of my brain power to make it good. Even for the script I'm reading right now, I got the outline from AI. I'm sorry to tell you. Next one is probably the craziest example that I haven't showed you guys yet, which is voiceovering. 11 Labs is definitely the industry standard for getting the text-to-speech voiceover type videos, but me and some friends have been messing around with cloning our own voices, and the results are insane. This is from my friend Loyal. I'm gonna hit generate speech, and you guys need to hear this.
These guys are chopping this tree apart because inside is something you've probably eaten, and it may—
That is completely AI. I literally just pressed generate speech once. And then if you want to see a real example of how this is used, literally on the third recent video, 42 million views.
These guys are chopping this tree apart because inside is something you've probably eaten.
This is literally the most realistic sounding AI voice that I've heard so far. And then if the voiceovering stuff wasn't OP enough, if you're jealous of my $500 SM7B mic, there's this thing called Adobe AI Audio Enhancer now, which just listen to this.
So this is the audio from the $5 microphone, and it sounds pretty bad. And here's how the new audio sounds. So this is the audio from the $5 microphone, and it sounds pretty bad, but what?
Yeah, you can just make any audio sound really, really good. The next section is thumbnails. AI thumbnails have actually gotten pretty good, and there's a ton of these apps like Pixels where you can make stuff like this. Like, obviously this looks AI generated, but the framing is good. We got Mr. Beast hitting a baseball in this one. Literally, this video was uploaded 1 month ago and has 400,000 views, and it's just a full AI thumbnail. You can make thumbnails like this in Midjourney, or at least the assets for it, and then drag it into Photoshop to finalize, or you can just use these AI thumbnail apps. Even Mr. Beast made an AI thumbnail app last week and then had to take it down just a couple days later because he was getting so much hate from the general population. I understand why people are hating on him for this, but honestly, this is kind of just delaying the inevitable. There are going to be a ton of really, really good AI thumbnail tools in the near future. And also, like I showed you before, top creators are just using AI in their thumbnails already, whether that's just the Photoshop Gen Fill thing, which you can just select an area and put AI whatever you want there. Okay, and then the last thing that we use for thumbnails is this app called Remini. I have been using this for 2 years and it is overpowered. Okay, so if I zoom in here, this is a slightly blurry picture of me that maybe I could use as a thumbnail or something like that. And then if you go to the after, boom, we got AI enhancing. You see the difference to this? If you have a bad camera or a blurry picture that you want to make look good, you can just run it through this and it will look insane. Okay, next section, second to last, is editing. Interestingly, editing's actually seen some of the least improvement in AI capabilities when you compare it to some of these other things like the thumbnails. There is cool stuff like auto captions that have come out with a lot of the new editing apps, and you could auto AI cut dead space. There's also people trying to make it so you can type English to an AI to edit the video for you, and while that does exist right now, it's not insane or really up to industry standard. Most people just still use Premiere Pro, but if you probably wait 6 months to a year, that feature will be there and it will be insane. And now for the final thing I'm going to talk to you about, that is the analytics review and iteration cycle. One of the most asked questions I get is, how do you know when your video is good or bad? And the answer to that is that you look at your analytics. I have full in-depth tutorials about how to read your analytics and know when people clicked off and what's good and what's bad and everything like that. Or you could just make an AI like Google Gemini watch your video and upload your analytics data to it like this, and it will give you this full, basically accurate summary as to why your video did bad. The recent video that I uploaded on this channel was talking about the Fortnite game development studio story, and I was kind of bullied into uploading it. I didn't really like how it turned out, but because of that, it really underperformed. So I uploaded the retention data to Google Gemini, and then I uploaded the video to it, and then it gave me this whole breakdown as to why it thought that it underperformed. I know that it underperformed because the thumbnail wasn't as good as my other ones and the video quality was just not there. And Google Gemini literally says the same thing. It says, conclusion, your video has a strong premise and an engaging personality. The primary area for improvement appears to be audience retention, particularly the initial drop off and the sustained lower retention compared to other videos in your niche. And then it literally tells me like, refine your opening. The first 10 to 15 seconds were not very visually appealing. Maintain dynamic pacing, analyze specific drop-off points, experiment with thumbnails. So once again, you can just turn off your brain if you know how to use AI like this, and it will just tell you how to make your videos better. I talk about iteration cycles a lot, which is you upload a video, you wait for the analytics, and then based on those analytics, you make your next video better. If you upload those analytics into something like Google Gemini and make them watch the video, you can get into that iteration cycle and it'll literally just tell you what points of the video you have to change. This was an incredibly saucy video. In complete transparency, we have been working super hard to grind out a tool that helps you make content that goes viral, like what I've been talking about in this entire video. If you want early access when the tool drops, sign up to our newsletter linked in the description. Thank you.